Hello, hello, and welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the full moon in Scorpio and with the lunar eclipse that's coming up on May 15th and 16th. And I'm Jenny King. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I do Aroma Point Therapy where we put essential oils on acupoints, and I teach that to you so that you can have a way to transform your energy so that you can live in right timing with your life, so that you can transform old stuff, so that you can just continue to grow and evolve in a way that feels fun. I mean, Aroma Point Therapy can be very fun, but it's also quite impactful. It is a way to work with your energy body and yourself, and it's a tool that you can have in your tool bag so that you can keep yourself moving and growing in your life. So let's play with this. The Scorpio full moon is, when you have a full moon, it's always opposite of its what the full lunar cycle. Right now we're in Taurus, which is like the May cycle, and then Scorpio is on the opposite side of the zodiac, so that's kind of in the October realm, and October, November. And we have, Taurus is Mayflower, or April showers bring May flowers, right? So we have this blooming, and then, you think about Halloween and that whole time where things are death, decay, and dying. So you have these opposite energies, and they really balance each other out. It is part of that. It has very much that life-death cycle. And so I'm going to give you two options today to work with oils on a single acupoint. So the acupoint will be the same, but I'm going to give you two categories of oils that you can use. And I'm going to give you a couple options because I don't know what you have at home. And this way you may have one of the oils and you can play with that, and then maybe go back later and be like, ooh, I'm intrigued by that. And you can pick a different oil, because this isn't something you could just use for this cycle. You can use it any place in a cycle where there's a transition, there's death, there's dying, there's something that you want to move through to get to the next stage. And that's what eclipses do. Eclipses are their shadow energy. We have, as we come into, we have a full moon where the sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the earth. And what happens in a lunar eclipse, and this is a total lunar eclipse, which makes it more powerful, is that the earth is completely blocking the light of the sun, so that the moon actually turns red. It becomes a blood moon, and it's wild. And it's over the course of a couple hours, and it looks very almost dystopic. It looks like something you'd see in like a sci-fi movie of something in the future. It's pretty cool. So if you have the time and you are in a place on the planet that you can see it, I would highly recommend seeing this, because it's very otherworldly. And I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Yardley, Pennsylvania, and we are in Eastern Standard Time. And I wrote this down because I knew I wouldn't remember it when I was talking. It is going to be at 12:11 a.m. on Monday. So it's like just after midnight. So 12:11. But there's a whole range of time where the planets are starting to align, and then it's like a 5-hour cycle of it coming in and coming out of that lunation. So there's plenty of time to work with it, but we're not doing this during the eclipse. I mean, you can, but I'm not going to. But I'm using this around it, because there's a time period where things get stirred up and they're brought to the surface. When the eclipse happens, it's literally turning out the lights, and it's allowing whatever's in the shadow to be revealed so that it can rise, so it can rise and be released and liberate you for a resurrection. And that's not always fun. I mean, let's not lie about it. It's not always fun. So how do you help yourself with that? How do you work with it intentionally? And that's what we're doing. So the point that we're using is called Spirit Buriel Ground. And it's on the altar of our chest. It is over the heart. It is, it's a space and a hollow, and we're going to find our point, and then you can decide which oil you want to use. So if we are working more in the Scorpio death energy, in that resurrection aspect of it, it's funny, I've got basically Scorpio here and Taurus here. I did that on accident, but this is just my regular treatment room. But it really, I sat down and was like, oh, hey, look, this is Phil. So if you want to work with the death Scorpio energy, you would use Cypress is one of my favorites. It's an old funeral oil. It's been used for centuries, so it has a long history with death. Sero, which is a sweet oil. It's an evergreen shrub and has this pungent aspect to it. So the Cypress and the Sero have this uplifting, sort of moving out energy. And if you don't have either of those, you could use black spruce or silver fir. So something that has like a really lifting energy. And then on the flip side, if you want to work with more of the Taurus flower aspect, you would use a flower. You could use rose. You could use, I love Helichrysum. Helichrysum is actually a wonderful wound healer. Rose has that bloom. It's sweet. It kind of ensconces you. And the split petal flowers also have a strong association with funerals, right? Because we make their condolence, but I also feel like this, we all just bloom for a brief moment in this life of ours. Our life is a bloom. And so, we celebrate it by recognizing the beauty of being a spirit and a body and this expression. And both are very important to recognize. We're not bypassing the hardship of death and transition, but we're also celebrating that part of being alive is that we continue to cycle and transition. And there is that moment of the poignant beauty, but you can't hang on to it. And so flowers are very soothing. They rock and nourish us. They have a kind of a mothering energy, and we're going to place that also on the point. So pick which one you want. Do you want to work with more of that transformation, that resurrection piece, or would you like to work more with sort of that soothing, really kind of working maybe with the heart, more with the heart energy? And then you would pick a flower. So let's get started. I'm picking Sero. I've been really enjoying that lately. And our point, Spirit Burial Ground, is you're going to find the high point of your clavicle here. And we're going to go just diagonally about 1/2 inch out, and you'll find a hollow. We've got this big bone of our sternum, looks like a tie. And here at the top, we want to go just the outside edge of the sternum. So we're not on the bone. We're just outside the bone between the ribs in this space. So I can feel a rib above and a rib below. So we're going to go down 3 bumps, also known as ribs. Our 3 rib speed bumps. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And I am still on the outside of our sternum, of the breastbone. And it might even feel kind of tender. So you maybe even keep one, well, no, you don't want to do that. Just grab your oil. And we're going to drop it on a finger. And 1 drop. The tree oils tend to come out pretty fast, so just try not to drop it on everything. Then I'm going to divide it between 2 fingers. Take a nice breath in, just saying hello to your oil. And I'm going to find my point again. I'm actually going to use my middle finger this time since my index now has the oil in it. But I've already found it once, so I'm going to find it again. High point of the clavicle, diagonal out about 1/2 inch. On the other side of the sternum, 3 bumps. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to drop my finger in. And this is a light touch. This is not acupressure. We're working in the energetic realm. We're working in the emotional and mental realms. We're working for transformation. Stop, drop, and oil. Relax, receive. It's a mindfulness practice. As you're doing this, oil and point, or any oil and point, you're waiting minimum of 60 seconds. You're waiting for something to shift or settle. You might feel your thoughts slow down. Noticing the sensations in your body. Sometimes you might get a thought or a feeling or a phrase. That is all part of the experience. This point is to help you let go of the past. So what are you ready to release? What are you ready to shake loose from the shadows? Draw it to the surface and let it go. Give it its proper burial so that you may continue to live in your beauty. Once you let something go, your life force energy is now fuller. It's not as suppressed. What do you need to bury so that your spirit may rise again? You may not even have words for it. That's okay, because we don't need to have words for it. It's a sensation that got stuck in your nervous system. When you're ready, release your hands. Deep breath in, enjoy the oil, this plant spirit that has come to join you in helping you transform. So I'm going to put in the comment section the percentages of the oils, because I do use them in dilution. So I'll tell you the dilution. All of these oils would be safe to use neat. We're not rubbing them. That means just the straight up oil, but it's just one drop on a point. We're not rubbing it over an area. I want to be very clear about that. So you could use them neat if you don't have a way to mix them. You could mix a drop of the oil, of the essential oil, with a drop of another oil in a bowl and mix it that way. I'm getting kind of the details of how to, so that you feel confident. You could do that if you didn't want to, you didn't want to use it neat. So you can use a carrier oil, and you could do like a 1-to-1 ratio. That would be fine too with any of these oils. You may not want to do it with your flower oils because they're so precious. They're expensive, but maybe just one drop on a point wouldn't be so bad. I think that's it. And then I'll write in the comment section the dilutions that if I make a bottle of them, what I usually make them at. So if you want to have a bottle around and use it more than once, then you can kind of figure that out for yourself. And I do have a video on that here on YouTube if you want to go back and find it. And the last thing I wanted to say too is I'm also doing a free meditation for the full moon in Scorpio, and that'll be this Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's a 45-minute practice. It's Qigong, and we'll be doing this practice again with the oil, and as well as calling down the moon and kind of organizing that lunar energy so that we can use it for our highest good. And so I hope you join me. If you would like to do that, you can go to my website, Redbird Healing Arts, and there's a place for you to sign up on the first page, or you could go to the live classes and there's a place to sign up there. And once you sign up, you get the link, and then you can call in, or if you can't make it, sign up anyway, and I'll send out a recording right afterwards, and you'll have access to that for 48 hours. Okay. I hope to see you there, but regardless, let me know how this goes. If you play with it, shoot me a message. I'd love to hear if you have questions. I would love to answer them. This is a beautiful way to play with this and just bring that energy and bring it into your body and a way to work with it in a really powerful way. Okay, so much love from my heart to yours. Take care.